Hi, I'm Ryan Shelton. You're listening to Laugh Out Proud with Z&G on Joy 94.9.
We have very special guest in the studio.
special guest.
Very special guest. Ryan Shelton's in the studio.
Hi.
Hey.
That's quite high-pitched. I wasn't planning on it being high-pitched.
No, perfect for a hello. You know, I feel like the hello is always a high-pitched, hey.
There's always that just like first impression, want to sound accessible. Hi.
Exactly. Yeah.
Friendly.
Friendly is
Yeah.
approachable. Anything else,
There you
I think
go.
it's just depressed, really. I think people
you.
will ask, are you okay?
The
I think
pitch
that's-
was... I'm happy with the pitch in hindsight.
No, it was perfect.
Yeah.
No. Thank you so much for coming down tonight. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's an honour to be here.
So, okay, so you, of course, with Hamish and Andy and Real Stories currently.
True story.
True Stories, sorry.
Real stories flashback.
I know.
It's very confusing.
We were
all
just
good.
talking
Yeah.
about Real Stories off air, so that's probably why it got me. So when did you... Because you met Hamish in high school.
Yeah, we went to high school together, yeah.
Right, so what year did you meet him in high school?
Well, he came to my school in year 9.
What school are we talking here?
School's called St Leonard's College.
Oh, right, St. Leonard's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yep.
Very
I think I know.
upstanding
Yeah,
co-educational program. And I'd been there, I went there my whole life, and
Right.
he arrived, this kid, needed friends.
Yeah.
Funny kid, spoke too much.
Right.
And we just sort of got along really well pretty instantly. And I lived pretty close to our school.
Right.
He lived in Glen Waverley, so quite a way
Right,
away.
okay.
And so often, as we got better friends, he would just stay at my place and we'd just hang out, and so it was easier
That's
for him.
pretty cool.
And there was a night where we always sort of remember as the night where we really bonded, where we like stayed up all night watching Monty Python. all
right
night.
on.
And just hours and hours of watching that.
That's
and,
really cool.
And that's sort of like, I think sort of the older I get, I think, and the more I think about the sort of stuff that we do and the stuff I do, I think the Monty Python influence, I think, is greater than I maybe thought
Right.
a long time ago. But
Yeah.
now
Wow,
I
yeah.
reckon it was quite a big influence on me. Yeah.
So would you say then that like Monty Python's like you British, like British comedy?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I watched American stuff as
Right.
well, but I reckon the stuff that I would love to one day be compared to is like the Monty Python
Yeah,
stuff.
nice.
And actually, this is going to sound really highbrow. I'm looking forward to this.
Beautiful.
But no, I'd never. Obviously, I'd heard of Oscar Wilde before.
Right.
Have you guys ever read or
Not an actual
seen
book.
or-
No.
Only quotes,
No,
out
no,
of
no, no, no.
context quotes
Yeah,
here and there, you know?
yeah.
Memes.
Yeah, exactly right.
I've read all the wild memes. But no, because I'm going to see An Ideal Husband, which is a MTC show which is on at the moment.
Right.
Oscar Wilde. I thought I'd need to know who Oscar Wilde is a bit more, because everyone talks. All the comedians say he's the best, and
Right.
and so I listened to Importance of Being Earnest,
Yeah. Right.
and it was like a audio play.
Audio book.
Audio book,
Right.
and it's a play.
Right. Okay.
And it's amazing. And that was like written in the 1890s.
Ooh.
And it is incredible how similar the writing and the everything about it, the story, sounds to Fawlty Towers.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So Fawlty
Wow.
Towers, like one of my favourite all-time shows. But then you listen to him. I recommend listening to, or seeing it if you can see it somewhere, Importance of Being Earnest, a British production of it.
Right.
It sounds like an episode of Fawlty Towers in a weird way. Even though
Yeah,
it's like
wow.
80 years.
That's incredible.
70 years earlier. Yeah.
Should we call John Cleese now and
Get him
ask him
on.
if...
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate handing out his number, but sure.
It's on the line now, John.
Yeah. Ooh.
So and in high school, so were you guys sort of... Did you write anything? Like, did you have the ideas of...
Yeah, we would always talk about wanting to make stuff. We
Right.
would always look up to Working Dog production company
Yeah,
like Rove
yeah.
and Santo and Tom and Jane and everyone, and just always look at them as sort of like the gold standard.
Yep.
That's where we would love to be one day.
Right.
Just love that idea of friends who make stuff, create a company who can then make the shows they want to make.
Exactly, yeah.
Always thought that was great, and so that was always, we always looked up to them. And then also like Sean McAuliffe and there's a lot of people we loved. And I think it was year 10, part of the curriculum for the English curriculum was you
Right.
make something called a communication project.
Okay, yeah, right.
So you team up with 1 or 2 or 3 people, and you have to make something, write something or perform or do anything
Right.
that communicates a message.
Yeah.
So we teamed up, the two of us and a friend of ours called Rachel, and we thought, let's make a sketch show.
Right.
Yeah.
That's sort of what we were into.
It's the best way to communicate.
Yeah.
It's the best way.
Yeah, send a message through sketch.
No, literally.
Yeah, it is. It is actually really good.
You can laugh and learn something. It's the perfect
Best of both
combination.
worlds, yeah.
It's true. So we did that, made this sketch show with a bunch of just stupid high school level
yeah.
sketches we thought was so funny. And it was like maybe a 15-minute film. It was a
Yeah,
15-minute
right.
thing of sketches.
Right.
And so we made that, had it all together, and then the plan is that you then show it to we were showing it to the year level.
Oh,
Yeah.
the year level.
So at a lunchtime, we booked out the theatre, the TC Woolhouse Theatre in
Shout out.
school.
The Woolhouse Theatre.
The Woolhouse Theatre.
That
No
sounds pretty
wool,
cool. No.
not a house.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Theatre at least. Is it at least a theatre?
It is a theatre.
All right, look.
Yeah.
1 out of 3. Not
yeah,
bad.
1 out of 3. All right, right on.
And so we told everyone about it, put posters up around the school, come and see our film. We titled it like just an asterisk. It's like so
Ooh.
postmodern.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Fancy.
yeah,
That's cool. I like
Try
that.
Google searching that one.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and then we're really excited about showing everyone. The night before, Hamish was staying at my place, and I was like, we'll show mum and dad.
Yeah.
And see what they think, because a bit of a test audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we finished it, we're really proud of it. Yeah. And so we showed it to them, and pressed play, sat down, here we go. And not one laugh
Oh, no.
throughout the whole thing. Not even like a nod. Not even like I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Just like a watching. And then at the end, Mum... At the end, there was that slightly too long silence of just looking at the screen. Probably why they all think about how will I talk about this now? So, and then the instant review was, oh, that's interesting. And so from that, we were just like shitting ourselves
Yeah, right.
about the screening to all of our peers.
I guess wrong demo, really.
That is the lesson that we learned. Luckily, people then did laugh at lunchtime,
Yeah.
and we realised my mum knows shit about comedy.
Exactly right. Not bringing you to the gigs. Stuff that.
Yes, but that was sort of our first thing that we made together.
Right on.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, and from there, because it actually did work in front of an audience, you're like, okay, let's start actually,
Well, yeah,
continuously writing.
yeah. We weren't that driven, to be honest, at that stage. We were doing school and
Yeah.
being people.
Year 12 hits, and then
being
it's like-
people. Yeah, we were being people.
It's time consuming. It is. It
It
is.
It takes all of your time.
Yeah. And so then, but after we did that, then we went to uni. After school, went to uni. Hamish went to Melbourne Uni. I went to RMIT.
Yep.
And Hamish met Andy at uni.
Yeah.
Right, they were both at Melbourne. And then another guy called Tim Bartley, who also we went to St Leonard's with.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And helped us make our stuff. He was like the camera guy, editing guy.
Nice. You need him.
You need a guy like that.
Yeah.
Or girl.
Either
You
one.
need a person
That's right.
like that.
Capable of all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Hamish met Andy. They got along really well.
Sorry,
And-
did you give Hamish shit for going to Melbourne? Did you be like, oh, hoity-toity Melbourne?
Yeah.
No, I was jealous.
Yeah, I can say it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was studying I think he was doing a double degree of science commerce or something stupid like
Where
that.
that goes
Boring,
now.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
What's he doing?
So now, and I was at RMIT doing advertising. It's like just the idiot down the road, so anyway, so then they met, and then Hames was like, oh, Andy was doing sketches with his mates as well.
Right.
So brought him into the fold. We started filming stuff, and then eventually got approached a show on Channel 31 called Raucous, which is their weekly variety show, and said, do you guys want anything? And Christy Fuller, who was the producer of the show, she was like, oh yeah, well we're pretty tight on time for the shows. There's a lot going on, but it was probably a 5-second slot that we can slip you into.
What?
And
How generous.
Yeah.
How lovely.
Yeah. But we didn't know, so we're
Yeah.
like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
The TV shows have a lot on. And so we had to go and make a 5-second sketch that then got put in their show. And so the sketch was, I was sitting at a bar, Andy approaches, sits next to me, and I look at him and go, and extend my hand for a handshake. I say, Marco. And he goes, Polo. And we shake hands. And that was the sketch.
That's it.
That's it.
I know, that's really
that
good.
was our first on-air.
That's genius for 5 seconds.
We were
That's
happy
genius.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, from there we just did more and more there, and then we eventually did our own channel.
So did they
31
give you
show.
more than 5 seconds eventually? Or?
I think it
started
escalated.
topping, like,
Yeah, I think we hit 7 or 8. Yeah.
Perfect for Vine. I'm liking it.
They were the golden years.
So how was that going? Like approaching, how did you get the idea of approaching someone at community television?
I think someone told us that that there was this show, and I can't remember if one of us had to be a student at RMIT or not.
Right.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
was, but it's RMITV is still around, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it is just, I'm sure it is still great now, and it was just so good at the time because it's like community radio or anything.
Yeah.
It's everyone gets a go.
That's right.
Sort of thing. So we were making this show with people on cameras who hadn't done cameras before.
Yeah.
And it's just a brilliant setup. It was great for us because
What were the studios like?
they had one studio. I don't think they have it anymore. Maybe they did. It was like downstairs on Swanston Street,
Right.
Under RMIT.
Yeah.
And it was this awesome studio with like a control booth and
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was
Jeez.
great. I mean,
Fancy.
they've got a new one, whatever their new one is. It's a bit smaller, but it's like a modern studio.
Yeah.
Nice.
Up some building somewhere.
I feel like as soon as you have a camera with a dolly happening, that's you're in
Yeah.
showbiz right there.
I mean, we'd only ever come from just shooting on handy cams.
Yeah,
and-
Yeah. Using DVDs as a tripod. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
So this was huge for us.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'd still be happy making a show there. It's got everything you need. It's brilliant. So anyway, we made that show, and that was really fun. It was sort of our first, it was called Radio Karate, that Channel 31 show, which is now the name of our production company.
Yeah, right on.
That's really cool.
So from there, what was sort of the next? So how long were you sort of doing those sketches for? RMIT TV.
Oh, for the show Raucous, I think maybe we did it for 3 or 4 weeks,
Right.
maybe longer. And after that, we just thought, let's stop giving away
The ideas. Yeah.
and let's just maybe make our own show. And so we put a pitch together for our own half-hour sort of variety sketch show
Yeah,
sort of
right.
thing. And they let us make that
That's cool. Yeah.
On RMIT TV.
on Channel 31.
On Channel 31,
Yeah,
right,
they
nice.
produced it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's an RMITV production.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
What was the name of that? Radio Karate.
Radio Karate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did that, and those tapes exist somewhere. We were actually talking yesterday about releasing parts of that.
That would be. That would definitely be. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
worthwhile.
In theory, it's one of those things where is our memory better than the reality?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
I've seen photos of that show recently, and it's good it's a nice memory.
Yeah.
But whether actually watching it is a good idea.
Yeah, it's like listening back to episode 1 of Laugh Out Proud. It's like, ooh, yeah, it's just,
Let's keep that hidden.
Yeah. The frosty chocolate milkshakes, Simpsons feeling,
yeah.
You go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and it's just like, we have developed,
Yeah. People will remember Quidgibo. So then from that, we made that show, went out on Channel 31, and I just sort of thought, well, we've made that now. I'm now going to go on a holiday.
Yeah.
On like a bit of because then I'd finished uni, and
Right.
I was like, I'm going to go on a trip, like a sort of a one-way ticket to Europe type trip.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
one-way ticket.
One-way ticket.
Ooh,
yeah.
self-discovery trip.
Yeah.
Very much so,
Wow.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Europe will know.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have the answers, exactly,
I
yeah.
could call them, but I'll just go and ask Europe in person.
Yeah.
So that was all booked, and the show had gone out on air, and it was all finished. That was a really fun experience. Booked my ticket overseas, packed everything, had a going away party.
Right.
3 days before I was supposed to go and get on this plane to go to Europe, we got a call from a producer at Channel 7 saying, we're producing season 2 of Big Bite, which was an old Channel 7
the sketch show. Yeah.
and we're looking for some new actors and writers.
Right on.
Would you guys want to come in and audition and talk about it? Because
Wow.
we saw your Channel 31 show and we like it. So then I was supposed to be going away on the Thursday. The audition was on the Monday.
Oof.
And so I kind of had to make this decision of like, do I stay or do I go?
Yeah.
And made the decision to stay.
Wow.
Right on.
Yeah.
Audition.
Right on.
And then we all got gigs on this new show.
Yeah.
I was like, I did sort of support cast, I guess, and then a writer. Hames and Andy were cast,
Right.
and Bartley got a job doing bits and pieces,
Yeah,
like third
nice.
ADing and stuff like that. And so we worked on this show, and that show ended up being called Hamish and Andy,
Yep.
which was like this short-lived
Right. Yeah.
Channel 7 show.
Really? So they turned really that into the Hamish.
Can you just imagine how popular we were with the Big Bite cast?
Yeah, far out.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Andrew.
O'Keefe?
The Chase,
O'Keefe.
yeah.
That's it, Andrew
It
O'Keefe.
was Andrew O'Keefe. It
Was
was
he giving you dirties on Deal or No Deal?
he was lovely. I mean, they were all lovely. Like,
Yeah.
we got along with them all, but naturally, they were a bit like, who are these young
Yeah.
stars
Right.
who just came and stole our show?
That's
Assholes.
crazy that they retooled it to Hamish. Like, it's...
I think because the producers were different in the second season than the first season.
Right.
And I think
right.
their idea of what they wanted the show to be was different. So it kind of, it was a strange thing. The show lasted 5 episodes and got axed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was good. Like, I met Chris Lilly on that show.
Right, yeah.
And he was doing Mr. G and another couple of Extreme Darren, I think, another couple
Right.
of
Oh,
characters.
right, yeah.
And that's how I met Chris, and then he asked me to help him with We Can Be Heroes. So that's how I got that gig.
Yeah.
And that was my first like proper writing gig on my own. That was awesome.
You listen to Laugh Out Proud?
Was ZNG.
On Joy 94.9.
Hey yo, this is Jay Farrell, and you listening to Laugh Out Proud with Z&G on Joy 94.9. I didn't have to make that noise.
We have a very special guest still in the studio.
Still stuck around.
Ryan's still hanging in with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ryan. For...
I must go to bed soon.
Soon. But you were breaking it down during that break. You had some really crazy dance moves.
Those
for that
dance
last
moves were
one.
incredible during that song. What,
Yeah.
what would you call them, Ryan?
Well, no, I classify myself as a dancer before comedian.
Yeah,
Right.
no, fair enough.
I just hate showing off. I just hate using it as a way to win friends and to impress
Well, you
people.
won us over. You
It
definitely
didn't-
won us
yes,
over because
without
that's
even
what we
trying.
had. That's what you had to do, obviously.
It's not a surprise.
Yes.
But we were talking about the We Can Be Heroes is the first big network writing gig.
Yeah. It was. I'd hardly done anything. I'd had that small experience on this Channel 7 show.
Yep.
Where, and on the Channel 7 show, I really had no idea what I was doing. I was nervous. On my first day, because, you naturally just write sketches when you're young.
Yeah.
You just I'll just write this. And so I had all these ideas. So first day on the job, I submitted 12 sketches.
Yeah.
And then the head writer's like, geez, that is impressive. And of course, then I've set the bar at
Way
too high,
unreachable level. So day 2, it's like a half for you. Half a sketch. Anyway, so that was, did what I did there, and then met Chris, got along with Chris really well.
Yeah.
On that, and gave him a few ideas, and he said, do you want to come help me write this new show that I've got my own show on the ABC? And I was like, of course, I love his stuff, and
Yeah.
I want to be a writer, so that's good.
Yeah.
So I went and did that, and just sat and worked with Chris a couple of days a week for about 3 or 4 months.
Wow, yeah.
Just banging around ideas for these characters he
Right.
had.
So is it like how does that work? Because does he have the ideas for the character in his head? So you said he was already doing Mr. G.
Yeah, so for We Can Be Heroes, when I met with him and Laura Waters, who's his producer at Princess Pictures, they said to me, so we've got this show idea. It's essentially about a 15-year-old schoolgirl at a private school, a woman who rolls twins, a guy called Phil Olivetti. All these, they named all the characters, and it's basic character traits.
Right. Okay.
And so my job with Chris was for us to think about scenarios and think about some sort of story
arc sort of thing,
throughout the series.
Yeah. Right.
And then he went away and wrote it by himself.
Really?
Yeah, so he wrote the script by himself, which he always does.
Jesus.
But I just sort of threw in ideas for
Okay, right.
what would Jermaine do at an assembly.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus. And so would it be you bouncing ideas with other writers as well?
No, it's just
Or
the
is
two
it
of us.
just the two of you?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
It was brilliant. I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah, it was still one of my favourite jobs.
Yeah. Right on. So, and how long after did he get? What was the other one that he did after We Can Be Heroes?
Summer Heights
Summer
High.
Summer Heights High.
Yeah.
Then, so he went straight into that.
Straight into it.
Well, after
Jeez.
We Can Be Heroes came out, I think because it was received so well.
So well,
they
yeah.
just
Well,
said,
yeah.
just do another one.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't do because then we were doing Real Stories.
Right. Okay.
So that's when Real Stories
conflict happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to.
You're gonna take your boys over. Yeah, Chris.
I had no
shade on Chris.
Yeah, I would have.
Everyone's your boy. That's fine.
Yeah, and I would have worked with Chris forever if I could, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. So
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Fair enough. So okay. So then Real Stories came about for you.
Yeah.
So what was that?
So Real Stories was. So that came about because after the Channel 7 show got axed,
Right.
Channel 7 said to me and Tim, Hamish and Andy, do you guys want to stick around and we'll put you on some sort of like contract, like minimal pay
Retainer or
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
to develop a new pilot for a new show.
Right.
So we stayed there for another 6 months or so, made a pilot, and in that pilot was this sort of 5-minute little mockumentary.
Yeah.
'Cause that was
Okay.
big back, mockumentaries.
Yeah.
were the thing.
Yeah.
And we made this thing about I played a character that lived in a display home. So
Oh,
the
right,
display home
yeah.
people come and look at. So I, to save money, like me and my wife lived in this home while people were constantly walking through it. That was the premise.
Right.
And so we made that as part of the pilot. Pilot didn't get up, thank God. And it wasn't very good. It was good, but we played too much stick cricket.
What's the budget like on a pilot? Like, say, if you don't have any, like, obviously, Hamish, Andy, and you now obviously will get a shitload to, create a pilot now. But,
Well,
like, what is it back then? Like,
Not much.
No.
No. I mean, more than we had for our year 10 communication.
Yeah.
But like it was enough to make the show.
Yeah.
But not enough for us to walk away with any money. in
Profit.
our pocket.
Right.
But it was like a really intentionally a lo-fi kind
Yeah.
of Tonight Showy style.
Right.
Essentially like a step up from Channel 31 is how we treated it.
Do you get any, can you decide on, like, catering things in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it was under $10.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we could have gone like, do you go sub club sandwich or do you go like Italian?
Yeah,
or
okay.
meat lovers?
Wow.
Yeah. So they're the choices.
You got your lunch covered,
But only within the Subway sandwich world. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, we like working with other artists, and the sandwich artists are one
Are the
people
best artists,
really
of course, yeah.
relate to.
Most popular. Yeah.
So the pilot, yeah.
So did that anyway.
Didn't go.
That didn't get up, so we still owned the stuff
pilot
that we made.
Right, okay.
Oh, right.
And so we entered that 5-minute thing into, I don't know if it still exists, but back then the Melbourne Comedy Festival had a short film competition.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah.
So we entered it into that,
Nice.
and that won the comedy
nice.
festival.
Shit.
And part of the prize for that is to be screened on the Comedy Channel. So
Nice.
the Comedy Channel
Wow.
sponsored it, and we got to go on there. So it was airing on Comedy Channel.
What year are we talking, like, 03?
It would have been 06, I
Six,
reckon.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
ish. And so then that was airing on there, and then I think maybe either Rove or his producer at the time, Craig Campbell,
Right.
might have seen it and thought, oh, that's great, let's chat to those guys and see if they want to make a show.
Yeah.
And so we got this random call out of the blue one day from Rovings, and we loved Rove.
Yeah,
I
of
watched
course.
it every week. Like, on schoolies, Hamish and I ran home from the Rolling Rock in Noosa to watch Rove.
Really?
live.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
cool.
That is awesome.
That is so good.
So-
Did you run back to watch the OC, though? That's...
I
before-
would have. I would have. Speaking of the OC, have you guys ever heard of a website called Cameo? Book Cameo?
No.
So Book Cameo is this website where you can pay not a lot of money
Right.
to get celebrities in quotation marks, mainly in America and the UK, to record personal videos for you.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And just recently, Marissa is now on Cameo.
Oh.
So for about, I don't know how much she is. You can get Perez Hilton for $25.
That's pretty
$25 bucks?
That's a bargain.
It's cheaper than you think.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the Real Housewives are on there, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, it's incredible. Anyway, back to
We'll look into that.
I'm getting some birthday presents sorted this week, I think. Yeah, cheers.
It's a really good one to get Perez Hilton to ask your friend if he wants to go have a drink.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's $25. So we've got this call. Met with Craig Campbell at Roving, and
Right.
he essentially said, "Do you want to partner up and make?
Yeah.
Is there any shows you want to make?"
Wow.
And so he said, "Is there something you can make out of that display home
Yep.
film? Is there a bigger show?
bigger idea, yeah.
And our natural thought was, well, let's just do lots of those little ideas and in sort of like a current affair type.
Yeah, the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, and so that was what we wanted to do, and they said, yeah, great, and so we co-produced it with Roving, and
Nice.
before we knew it, we were writing this show called Real Stories, and yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Did you say it's through Roving?
Yeah.
So does that at any point does like Rove have actual chime in at any point?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the time, he was doing his Rove Live
Yep.
at the time, and he would pop into like our writers' room every now and again and like hear ideas and read throughs of scripts, and it was so good. He was like really enthusiastic about it and incredibly supportive. Like we owe a lot to Rove and Craig and.
Did you get like the first time he was popping into the writers' room? Did you get a little bit starstruck there, or like did that change?
By that stage, it'd gone past that a little bit. It was more just that feeling of like,
hey Rove.
Yeah, it was more like I hope Dad likes me.
Yeah, comedy dad. Yeah,
it was a bit of
like
that.
Yeah.
So we really looked up to what he was doing and his thing. So yeah, we had no idea what we were doing still. So we were just hoping that they liked what we did.
So was the Ryan, Hamish, Andy, and Tim.
Yep.
The four of you were writing Real Stories. And
yes.
Banging that out. Okay.
With two other guys, Jason Marion and Ray Matson.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So and how was the writers' room in that situation?
It was pretty loose, I think, from memory. I don't think we had many like structures in place.
Yeah.
We were, I think at the time we were maybe 24 or 25 maybe.
Right. Nice.
So had a teeny bit of writing experience, but not of this magnitude. I'd worked with Chris a little bit, so I had that experience. But yeah, we were really just going with the flow, and we were able, because we were co-producing with Roving, we didn't really have to deal with any network things or Channel 10 things.
Like the notes.
Yeah, like they had notes, but we were pretty protected by...
Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and how long did it, like, how long was that writing process itself, to write Real Stories?
I can't remember. I reckon it would have been like, 3-4 months probably.
Right.
I think. I can't really remember.
And how are you guys sort of in the writer's room itself? Are you the sort of writer that'll, stick to very stubborn with a joke, or?
Yeah. It depends. Like sometimes you have those jokes or those ideas where you just will lie on the tracks for it.
Yeah, you fight those battles, yeah.
Well, we've always had our rule within our group is in any series, we each get what we call a pedantic point.
Yep.
Right.
So a pedantic point is sort of like a card that you can play.
Oh.
And it just cancels out everyone.
Really?
So even if like the three other people, I don't like it, you have the opportunity to play pedantic point.
Nice.
You only get
one card.
Yeah.
Per season?
Per season.
Okay.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a big deal. You got to really be passionate about it.
Yeah.
And do you always use it, or has there been any point where you get to the end of the season and you're like, Jesus, I still have my.
I can bang two next season.
It happened this season. For true story.
Really?
Where myself and Andy and Tim were in looking at one of the final edits of one of the episodes, and we hadn't Andy hadn't used his pedantic point, and I think you don't want to do something to ruin the show. Yeah. I reckon this should be black and white. I reckon this episode's black and white,
inverted, upside down. Yeah,
and we'll go. No, I don't think so. Pedantic point. So you won't do something like that, but it is annoying when you haven't been able to use your pedantic point.
Right. Okay.
It happens a lot because we're generally on the same page.
But I guess that's a good thing, really. Like,
it is. Yeah.
That's the best setup for your writing.
Was there only one season of Real Stories? One season. Okay,
yeah.
right. So what was the vibe after that? Because I feel like it was such a goddamn good show that it's surprising that you didn't get picked up. So what was the?
I can't remember. I think because after that, So after that, Hames and Andy then started Drive.
Right.
So at the time of Real Stories, I'm pretty sure they were still doing Saturday mornings or Monday nights, maybe on Fox. So they went to do Drive, and then, but also Channel 10 weren't saying we really need another season of Real Stories.
Right. Okay.
I think they liked it. but I don't know what was on at the time. Probably MasterChef still. But whatever it wasn't. It's not a broad-reaching show.
Yeah.
But we still get people talking to us about real
Yeah.
stories. It's
For sure.
Because it's comedy gold. Like, I think it just. I feel like there's, like, other than Rove, like back then there wasn't, too much great comedy out there. Like,
well, at that time there was like Ronnie John's Half Hour.
yeah,
that was
had
around.
all the original sketch shows. Did they? Like Skid House,
The Wedge,
Comedy Inc.
Comedy Inc.
Yeah.
I think it was sort of around that
yeah,
era.
interesting.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So they
there
were
other
around.
comedies. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we also weren't. It was such a hard show to make for us because we were so new at it.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
were essentially making. We made 32 short films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
jeez, yeah.
And when you're having to come up with not only come up with new characters every single story, because we were playing all the characters, it's only so like we're not that. We haven't got that much in us. Like, there were characters where we were like, "What does this character look like?" I don't know, and we literally turned wigs around the other way.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Because when you put a wig on backwards, you look a bit simple.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and so there were characters where we were like, just turn the wig around. That's a new character.
That's so good.
So I think there was also part of us thinking, I don't know if the three of us have 30 more characters.
Yeah.
yeah. I get it.
So that was also part of it. A lot of things. But then we all started working more on Rove. I became a full-time writer on Rove and eventually did my own segment on Rove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hamish and Andy got the Drive show, and then at what point did Rove offer you a writing gig?
Straight after Real Stories.
Really, straight after.
Straight after,
Nice.
because we were already in there, and I think we got along with them, and
Yeah,
Rove
right.
liked us, and
So how was it like writing for Rove? What's that?
it was great.
Yeah?
We had this awesome room of writers. It was brilliant. I mean, it was.
Were you like monologue? What is it sectioned off? Like,
Yeah, from memory, I never did monologue jokes. I think there were certain people who were good with the topical stuff.
Right,
To
right.
do that. I
Yeah.
was never really a topical joke guy. I don't really know. Still don't know what the hell I am.
okay, yeah.
But I didn't do that. I think actually Rove mainly worked with one writer on that. Like he would
Really?
write things. They would write things together, I think.
Right,
yeah.
interesting.
But we're sort of, when I came in, a new producer came onto the show and they did it. Remember when they brought on Carrie and Husey?
Yep.
And
Yep.
that was like a new producer who came in and did a bit of a revamp on the show.
Right, interesting. Was that when it changed to Rove?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
Dropped the live.
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. So
Was it? Wait, did it can maintain its liveness, or no? Or was it tape?
it bounced around. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it was live, and then there was one year where it was maybe like an hour before it went to air.
That's interesting.
I think it was just in case
Yeah, someone drops a C bomb.
drop something that
Yeah,
they shouldn't,
right,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Maybe that was a reason, or just
Rove wanted to get home earlier.
I don't know.
Beat the traffic that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. I have no idea.
Traffic at 10:30 is a lot worse than 9:30, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we did. So I did that, and then Hamish and Andy did like hidden camera things, and eventually
Yeah,
I got
that's
asked
right.
to do my own little.
Philosophization.
Yeah, it started off as Rye-dears.
Right-ears,
I
that's
did
right.
like 3 of them. Then I did some Rye-ports, and then I did.
Did you pitch the? Were you pitching the names?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's good.
That's so
That's
good.
good. That's good. I like it. Did you come up with philosophizationing, or what? Was it
Yeah.
philosophizationing?
It was investigationing first, and then philosophizationing.
Right. Nice.
So I was on for sort of 2.5 years
Yeah.
as a cast member.
Right.
First year was investigationing. Second year was philosophizationing.
Right.
Yeah, and that was just a dream
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Because for some reason, like I made them with Tim Bartley,
Right.
and then also a few other guys like Hayden Guppy and Frank Brazesi, and there was a group of us who made this
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
And we were just left alone
Nice.
to make these segments.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I
That's
think
really
because
good.
Rove liked them, we were kind of left alone.
That's
Right,
good. That's
yeah.
exactly what you want. That's, yeah.
but it so
Creative control,
rarely
yeah.
happens.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was given this like freedom to do, comparatively to the rest of the show, quite strange little segments. Like no real connection to the fact that Selena Gomez is on this week,
Yeah.
and Ryan is going to investigate something,
Yeah.
whatever. Like it just was a strange little thing. Anyway, I was able to do it and just learnt a bucket load of stuff about how to writing, how to act, what's funny, what's
Right.
Yeah, it was really good. Little school.
So, in comparison to other writing rooms, how was the Rove Library? Like a lot bigger, a lot more staff.
That's probably the closest I'll ever come to working in a traditional
writer's room. Right.
Yeah,
right.
that was literally like 12 people in a room coming up with jokes. We'd say, they'd say, hey, we've got Will Ferrell on as a guest this week. We need some ideas for things to do with him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it was really like that, and we just had a ball like in there. It was really fun.
Did you get your what was it called again? The joke card. What was it called?
Oh, the pedantic point.
The pedantic point. Did you? No, you didn't get any pedantic points in there.
Well, that wasn't our show, so only for our shows.
That's how we got ideas over.
Yeah.
That's where you went to Rove with this.
Rove? Yeah, Ryan Shelton.
Yeah.
I know you don't know about pedantic points, but this is
I'm
how
cashing
it
it in. Yeah.
I know it's my first day. But
I have a idea. And it went. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So what was okay? So then what was because you were around at the end of Rove when he decided to not continue.
Yeah.
So what was that feeling like in the him breaking the news to the writers? What was that?
It was on one hand it was surprising, but on the other hand it was like it probably felt like it had sort of reached its peak.
Right, yeah.
It got to a point where the show was really strong and was really good, and I think maybe there was a feeling that I certainly felt it just from Rove that he was ready to do something else.
Yeah.
I think he'd done it for 10 years by that stage, and it's a lot of work and tiring, and you can't really... I think he did have aspirations to go to LA and do that stuff. So I think it was a combination of a few different things. For the rest of us, we were like, well, it's up to him. Like, whatever he wants to do. Show. But it was great. Like I just loved that experience. We all did. It was like I said, it was like a real little education for us.
Yeah. How was writing the last episode? Like,
well, I was on the last episode. I think I did. Yeah, I had a segment. I had a philosophisation on the last show, and it was a single shot.
Right.
It was a 3-minute single shot segment, which we shot there's some weird like closed down theme park somewhere.
Really?
Right.
I forget where it is.
In the state? In Victoria?
In Victoria.
Really?
It's the strangest place.
Ooh.
I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure someone listening will know.
Like out in sort of country ways?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too far out. It's probably like 45 an hour out of Melbourne.
Jeez.
And it's like this weird, creepy thing that felt like it would have been a striving theme park
Once upon a time.
thriving theme park back in like the 80s or something.
Right, yeah.
And now there's the remnants of it. So there's still like the signage up and old Streets ice cream logos and
I'm thinking of Gumboya Park, eh? No,
it's not Gumbaya Park.
Gumbaya Park?
But it's similar sort of thing, but
right, okay.
even sadder.
Beautiful.
So I shot a thing there, which was, and I got to use a DeLorean, which was
damn,
That's
huge for me.
awesome.
how's that sitting in a DeLorean?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Right.
But there's two brothers who live in Melbourne, and they both have a DeLorean.
Nice.
They've both done them up like the Back to the Future.
Oh,
Right.
on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you get to 88 miles per hour? Or?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
right
went
on.
back in time. Yeah, went back
Wait.
to 55.
Right on.
It was quite an experience.
What is 88 miles per hour in kilometres?
Pretty quick.
Great question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
Like
120.
150 or something like that. That's a bit quick.
Let's ask Siri.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
Let's do it. This is a shout out to Apple now. We're gonna.
Hey Siri.
I'm here.
Yep. How fast is 88 miles per hour in kilometres per hour?
The answer is 141.62 kilometers.
Oh,
Pretty close.
Good.
141. There you go.
141. Yeah.
I think that's
Thank
quicker.
you, Siri. Is there like
Thank
an
you, Siri.
etiquette where you have to thank them after?
Yeah, you have to thank them. Is Apple listening?
No, that's the best thing about digital people. You don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
You can treat them how you want to treat actual people. Yeah.
Like, tell me this, good, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rove ended.
Rove ended.
And then, so did you?
So then after, in the last year of Rove, I'd already started doing the drive show on Nova.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I was doing both in that year. So I did 2 years of drive on National Drive on Nova with Monty and Whipper, And so I did did radio for the second year after that. But then also we started doing more Hamish and Andy Caravan of Courages. We did Caravan of Courage.
Nice, yeah.
So did a few years of that, and then after I'd done 2 years of radio at Radio Karate, we were like, let's do a proper show.
Yeah.
So I finished up radio, and we did Gap Year. So Hamish and Andy's Gap Year.
Right, yeah.
So that's when we went and did it over in New York and lived in New York
Oh,
for a while,
yeah,
which was
yeah.
unbelievable.
That's unreal.
What was it like filming those? Like, because like,
Excellent.
Are you writing those? Like, what's the sort of?
Well, we're producing them, so it's a sort of strange because we're relatively hands-on, I guess, in comparison to maybe other bigger production companies. We're so small that we do one show at a time and we just make it ourselves.
Yeah.
More like a working dog.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
So yes, I would write, I would produce, help with the edit. I had my own little segment, did a bit of acting, and just sort of whatever needed to be done. We were all just doing.
So is it you guys coming up with sort of the spots to go to, and the story arc of the season, sort of
sort of like Gap Year in America was the first one, and that was kind of different because we set it up. We made the mistake of making a show where we put every single thing in it that we thought we could do.
Right, okay.
So it's like, okay, well, Hames Andy can interview people.
Yeah.
They can go and meet weird people out.
Yeah.
The Americans do that whole thing.
They can do this, they can do that. Let's just do everything in the one show.
Yeah.
And so we thought that would be a good idea. Turns out not so much. So then by the time
That was a great Gap Year, though. I love that Gap Year.
it turned out pretty good in the end. But it was a big learning curve.
Right.
Realizing that, or our learning from it was, if you make a show, you just got to know what the show does. It's rather than going, we have an hour of television, let's cram as many things in as possible.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of a cool lesson. Like radio show, you guys interview comedians.
Yeah.
Like that's what this show is. It's it's not a show where you sing songs. Or
No,
maybe it is
we have
sometimes.
before.
We have. It
before.
has not been ruled out, but you're right.
yeah.
They don't come for the songs. They don't come for the songs.
Well, just because one of you maybe likes chess doesn't mean that you go like, I'd like to talk about chess for a little bit.
If it can work into a sketch.
But you're right.
yeah.
We get what you're saying.
But-
If it's
Yeah. So we had that realization, and by the time the second season, we went to Europe, lived in London for the Olympic year in 2012, and travelled around Europe, and that was just wild. It was amazing.
Here's a conspiracy theory for you. Laugh out, Pratis. Put your tinfoil hat on.
Put them on.
Is Gap Year just a nice way to get the networks to pay for a nice holiday?
How dare you?
Scandal.
How dare you accuse us of such brilliant ideas? No.
Because
I
how
should
long?
say no.
Yes.
The lawyers.
Yeah.
The lawyers.
No, it really came.
How long were you living? How long did you get to live there for?
4 months.
Nice.
Yeah. So really, the idea for Gap Year really just came from. It was an extension of Caravan of Courage.
Yeah.
What they were doing on radio anyway, and we just thought, well, let's just make it into a bigger thing.
Yeah. Let's not have them in a caravan.
Yes. And that was pretty revolutionary at the time. I mean, I don't know if you remember, there was a time when all shows were in caravans. Now, very rarely do you see shows in caravans,
So Gap Year, and then so how did True Stories come about then? Because it was already on the retainer situation, 'cause in the Channel 9 dungeon. No, can you say that?
When we got to when we did 4 seasons of Gap Year, we felt like that was enough for then at least.
Right, yeah.
Until you plan your next holiday. Yeah.
It's like, how can we do another holiday?
Russia. We haven't done Russia.
Yeah.
We did go to Russia.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah, we
shit.
went to Russia once for Euro Gap Year.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which I didn't personally go to, but the place is a strange.
Right, okay.
A strange place.
North
Not
Korea, the next
surprisingly.
one then.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know how much access we'd then feel. We'd be like watching a lot of parades. I think.
Yeah, just that
Or
one
just black
street.
screen.
Yeah.
Another film from Kim Jong.
Yeah, great. That's
Yeah.
just to see him in 4 an hour and a half films that he just,
This one's a comedy. Really? Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Have you seen that? I think Vice did that. They did a special on North Korea where what's his name, the head of Vice went and did a full thing on it.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. If not only to just see how little access they give you and how controlled it
And
is.
how they put on a show for you. Like,
There's that
especially
one
if you're a
scene.
journalist.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was that one scene where they put on a full opening ceremony level show in a
That's right.
stadium,
Yeah.
and there was like 5 of them in the audience watching.
It's crazy.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Or like, was that the same one that had the shop front, and then like they were passing shop fronts initially, and then they came back to have a look at the shop fronts, and then they were just fake shops.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was like some
It's-
weird, eerie shit happening. And,
It's like a horror film now.
Yeah,
You're freaking
literally,
me
yeah.
out. It's not,
Yeah.
But not talk too much about North Korea because Kim might be on the phone right now. Yeah,
Yeah, well, let's. I'd love to chat to him.
yeah. Get Siri
Patch him
to
in.
call, yeah.
What were we talking about?
Gap year and
Gap year. Oh, yes.
The next one's in North Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were hoping to get North Korea.
still waiting to get back. Yeah.
So
Send them a message.
True stories.
True story. Then we
Is true story? No, it's true story, right?
True story.
True story.
Yeah.
Not
But, you
real stories.
Same,
Right.
same. And so we sort of sat back and thought, okay, Gap Year's done. Let's do another show.
Yeah.
And we just developed them. We just sort of
Yeah.
internally just threw around a bunch of different ideas of shows we wanted to make, and True Story was one of them. And we ended up making like a pilot, like
Right.
just for ourselves, just to see if it was good.
And how was the budget in the
For that,
in that
not
part?
much.
Really?
Well, because we paid for it ourselves.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
just did it to see if the show was good before we pitched it.
Yeah, wow.
Right.
to
Okay.
someone.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have enough capital, it's easier to make a pilot and
to
get the
ask for
okay
one.
for
Well, if you
to
can
then
afford it, depending on the show,
Yeah.
like I don't know how much it cost, but honestly, wasn't a lot.
Right.
It was bare bones sort of thing. But it kind of, if you make it yourself, it just means that you're not indebted to,
Right.
if Channel 9 say, here's $100,000 to make a pilot,
Yeah.
that's all well and good, but then
Where's our 100 grand?
they have the power to say yes or no.
Right.
And if they don't like it, you can't then go to 7 and say, hey,
Shop
do
it
you want
round.
to make it?
Right. The
Yeah.
shop around, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we made it on our own, and luckily Channel 9 really liked it, and they said, yeah, let's do it. And so then we sort of spent the next sort of 3 years making 2 seasons of that.
And how I mean, you didn't get that many experience from notes from Channel 10, did you? I mean, Rove, you probably would have.
Yeah, I mean, not me personally.
no, yeah.
Like we've always somehow dodged that.
Really?
I don't know.
That's
I mean,
pretty
Real Stories, we definitely got notes.
Right.
Like, they definitely had thoughts. But like
Yep.
I said, we were kind of protected by...
Right.
Not many of them filtered through to us, actually.
yeah.
So how does Channel 9 compare then?
Channel 9's great. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird because when I was back at uni, when we were making Channel 31 stuff, I never would have imagined we'd be making like a broad commercial show on Channel 9.
Yeah.
I was just thought, it's just not what we do.
Right. Yeah. I getcha.
And it's not always going to be the only thing we do. But the people that we work with at Channel 9 are just great. Like, they literally give us the money to make the show, and then we deliver the tapes at the end.
That's awesome.
That's
Like,
really
we're,
cool.
we're very lucky,
Yeah.
I think. I don't think that's a normal thing, but we get
They
this-
trust you. They trust you to
they
make
trust
the gold.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. So we actually really like it. It's great.
So how do the stories come in for True Stories?
So we put out a call, like usually over social media or
Right.
whatever it may be, and literally say if you have a funny story,
Let us know,
in.
yeah.
So is it like a team of people looking through stories and reading stories and then just
Exactly.
filtering them through to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we made the decision at the start that Hamish and Andy shouldn't know what the story is
Right.
before they sit down with the storyteller.
Yeah.
So then you get the natural reactions and the genuine laughs
Yeah.
from them. So that meant that myself and Tim Bartley, we worked with like a group of about 5 or 6 research producers who go through all these emails coming in,
Right.
call people back, and pitch the best of those stories to Tim and I.
Yeah.
So then we would hear the stories and go, that's good, that needs an ending, whatever, that's got too much poo in it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because in season 2, I think we had something like 8,000 story entries. And one of the
That's
guys...
a job in itself. Just reading stories.
Oh, it's huge. Luckily I don't do it, but for the people doing it, it's a huge job.
Yeah.
And there was a brown folder in the emails.
Right.
Because literally I think they said 70% of the story submissions were about people pooing themselves.
70%.
70%.
That's great. So we have a disproportionate of people in Australia pooing themselves. Is that what?
Yeah.
It's a bigger problem at hand now. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's the next show. It's an investigative report.
Real True Stories was actually just a study done by Channel 9 to investigate how many people were pooing themselves.
It's an integration with a nappy company.
the real war on waste. Yeah.
So second season of
True Story.
True Stories
Yep.
happening right now. Is it
Yep.
8:40
8:40
on
Tuesday
Channel 9?
nights on Channel 9.
Right on.
Yep.
How is it booking the because you get big Australian comedians and actors to play the characters in it. How is it booking them? Like, is it tough to be like, hey, Glenn, because you did a scene with Glenn Robbins
In season 1 I did, yeah.
season 1?
Yeah.
How what was it like booking like big Australian comedians and stuff like that?
It's so fun. Like,
Yeah.
it's the coolest part of the show because they're all people that we admire or
Right.
either we're friends with or we're friends with and we admire them. Or
Yeah.
we just look up to them, never met them. Like in season 2, there's an episode with Bruce Spence,
Right.
who is just this legend Australian actor.
Yeah.
And never would I have thought I'd be working with
Doing a scene, yeah.
But it's funny, like the thing that we've realised is at the start of it, people would go like, oh, Bruce Spence isn't going to want to do, a small part on a dumb little show, comedy show. But the thing you realise is just actors and performers, they just want to do fun things.
Yeah.
And it's good for this show because the commitment is never more than like 2 or 3 days.
Right. So
So
easy for
it's pretty easy if they like this character and the script, I guess. It's a really easy commitment.
Yeah, okay, right.
So-
I just have to remember a few pages sort of thing.
Yeah. So pretty much everyone that we asked said yes. There's only a few
that's
people
awesome.
that said
Nice. Right on.
no. So it was great. Like just every now and again, the producer would come in and go something like, he'd come in and pop his head in and say, Cat Stewart's in.
Nice.
And I'd be like, great. Cat Stewart is doing our show.
How do you like when you are getting the stories pitched to you? Do you already have like somewhat of an idea of who you want?
Sometimes
Yeah.
we did. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
It's definitely sometimes. Like there was this season. There's episode 7 is the storyteller's this girl called Lisa, and when she was doing the interview with Hamish and Andy, I was just like, she looks exactly like Jess Tovey, who's this great actress. She looks so much like. I sent like a message round to all the guys of a comparison photo.
Yeah.
And so when it came time to casting, we asked Jess to do it, and she said yes. So
Right on.
sometimes for the lookalikes,
Right.
you're
the
like,
lookalikes, yeah.
oh, that like this week is a episode with a guy called Alan, and Dave Lawson looks like a younger version of Alan.
Right.
And so, and we're all good mates with Dave, so he just was happy to do it, and he's hilarious.
Right, yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun to be able to, like, because there's so many little roles, to be able to say, let's get our friend, let's get this comedian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of, like, Australian comedians, like, in this season.
Right on.
So what else is sort of happening? Like, so you're just focusing on True Stories at the moment? Like,
True
do you have any
Story.
Ryan Shelton side projects happening?
Well, no, not that I can, not that's worth talking about,
not
really.
that, okay, yeah, the lawyers are listening now, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely listening.
Yeah.
I did this really weird thing on Instagram a couple of years ago called
Right.
Cliff, which was an Instagram show where the episodes are 15 seconds.
Right.
It's still, if you scroll back through my Instagram, you'll find it. I think I've made it a website called itscliff.com. You can go have a look.
There you go.
And
But it's
what's your Instagram?
so weird. At Ryan Sheltonography.
Right, okay, nice.
Yeah. So it's really lower your expectations for it. It's nothing special. It's dumb. It was in that year we were developing True Story.
Right.
We weren't making anything. I was like, gotta make something. So I made 3 seasons of this show called Cliff,
Nice.
where I played this really strange character called Cliff, and Pete Hellier's in one of them, and Hamish is in it, and so I've written another Cliff. So I'm hoping to, if I can get the $10 funding together,
Yeah.
hoping that I can
do you get
call
a
Screen Australia.
Do you get a camera guy for that, or is it just...
Tim.
Oh, right on!
Tim in the
Perfect.
5D. Guy called Louis does the sound and everything else. There's only 3 of us in Tim's
He's
backyard.
Tim is your Edgar Wright of the Simon
You
Pegg.
look a bit like Edgar Wright.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. Just thought that right. You look a lot like him, actually.
Really?
Have you ever been told that?
No. No,
Let me
never.
get a photo up of Edgar.
Yeah, I need to see this.
Yeah, let's
Like,
get
I'm
Edgar
like
Wright up.
long hair, beard, Edgar Wright. Let me look. Because I reckon you'll be surprised here.
Now, do you have Edgar's number? That's the
wish.
real question.
No. But a friend of mine dated him for a while.
Really?
Wow.
Does he do as intense shots in real life as he does in films?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes. like I'm not crazy.
That's unreal.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I
a little bit unreal. Yeah.
I could see that.
come
I could see
on.
that.
Holy shit.
Like if he had a beanie on, as you do
It's-
now.
Yeah, that's you.
It's hard to say when someone says you look like someone. It's hard to say yourself when they're like attractive. You're like, yeah, that's totally me. Yeah.
You look a lot like him.
All right, look, we're gonna get Edgar Wright on the show.
Yeah,
have like
and
a-
the worlds will collide. Yeah.
Do you guys have some sort of like
Is he Cockney?
Facebook or something that you can?
Yeah, we'll see if the Laugh Out Prouders agree. out
Yeah,
there.
we'll see if the Laugh Out Proud is
It's
yeah,
a
we'll just-
great poll. Get engagement up. True. Gotta get
look.
people engaging on social media.
All about
We're
advertising.
gonna-
The
we'll do-
degrees coming through.
on the Instagram story. We'll do that. What is that poll you can do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes or
Yes.
no? Yes.
Yeah, that is a poll.
Yes.
What is that poll that people do? Yes or no? Pick one.
That's awesome.
But social medias, Ryan
Yep.
Sheltonography.
Yeah, that's it. I'm on Twitter, but I
No?
don't use it very much.
No,
yeah.
the 240 characters put you off.
I just-
280 is it?
I don't-
What's the upgrade?
Not enough. It's
Not
what
enough.
we're finding out.
Yeah, that's right.
I
yeah.
used Instagram quite a lot for a while. I've gone off that a little bit as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I've just sort of become a bit more hermity.
Yeah.
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 And of course, you can catch Real Stories on Tuesdays.
True story.
True story. True story. Thank you.
This
Sorry.
is
No,
a
the lawyers will listen.
nightmare.
Well, he's never coming back now. What have you done?
Oh God. Okay.
No, yeah, true story. 8:40 Tuesday nights, Channel 9.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming down, Ryan Shelton. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, guys. Hi, I'm Brian Shelmon. So, hi, I'm Brian Sorry, go one more time. Hi, I'm Ryan I always get this wrong. Hi, I'm Ryan Shelton. You're listening to Laugh Out Proud with Z&G on Joy 94.9.